Alright boys, so I just got the new Warlock exotic legs, Secant Filaments, and I wanted to make a build with them and talk about them for a little bit and see whether or not they're worth running and if they're worth running in the end game. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So for this build, we're going to use Empowering Rift because, well, that's just what the exotic works with. We're going to use Vortex Grenades because I'm loving them right now. As for our aspects, we're using Child of the Old Gods, and we're also using Feed the Void. As for my fragment, we're using Echo of Remnants, Echo of Expulsion, Echo of Undermining, and Echo of Persistence. As for our weapons, you really want to run a weapon with Wellspring, although you don't really have to. I kind of just want to play into that rift spam so we can spawn more Child of the Old Gods and have more rifts available so we can take advantage of Secant Filaments. The rest of your weapons don't matter, although I did get the Parasite Grenade Launcher, and I must say, that thing is really good. So I've been really having a lot of fun with that. As for my stats, I'm using 100 recovery and I have 92 strength. I have 15 discipline, but that's okay because I'm going to make up for it because of Devour. Now moving on to my mods, I'm using 3 stacks of Well Utility, 1 Reaping Well Maker, 1 Seeking Wells, 1 Bolstering Detonation, and 2 stacks of Perpetuation. Upon casting my Rift, my next weapon kill will spawn a Void Elemental Well because of Reaping Well Maker, and when they track to me because of Seeking Wells and I pick that Void Elemental Well up, Well of Utility will proc and give me just a little bit under half of my Rift energy back. Well of Utility is a really great mod, especially now because of Child of the Old Gods and how potent that is. I'm also using Bolstering Detonation and 2 stacks of Perpetuation, so when I do grenade damage I get Rift energy in return, and when I cast my Rift I get Rift energy in return. Not to mention that killing enemies that are affected by the black hole from Child of the Old Gods will also refund you some Rift energy. Now let's talk about Secant Filaments, the brand new exotic legs for the Warlock. Now the armor perk you get with it is Devouring Rift. Casting an Empowering Rift will grant you Devour. Damage dealt by you and your allies from within your Empowering Rift will disrupt combatants, meaning you have overload when you're standing inside an Empowering Rift of a Warlock who has Secant Filaments on. Now with how easy it is to proc Devour because of the new voidwalker 3.0, I wouldn't necessarily say it's necessary for that reason, because just getting an ability kill if you have Feed the Void on will get you Devour. So using an exotic that whenever you cast it will grant you Devour, I mean, yeah, it's good, but is it a must have? I'm not too sure. Now the part that interests me a lot is the fact that whenever you're standing in an Empowering Rift, you gain Overload. And I did test it out. You don't have to be on Void to get that effect. You can be on Solar, Arc, whatever it is. If you have this exotic on and you're running Empowering Rift, anybody who's standing in your Empowering Rift will get Overload. And I can't emphasize how good that is, because if you don't want to run the seasonal mods, like right now I think it's auto rifle and SMG, there's also Void Grenade, but let's just talk about weapons. If you don't want to run an auto rifle or an SMG for Overload, you can just run this exotic, stand inside the Empowering Rift, and there you go, your weapons, all your weapons have Overload. The only thing is you're running an Empowering Rift and something, let's say a Master or a GM Nightfall, which might be a little bit hard to move around because Healing Rift is just so good. You want to stay alive as much as possible, but that extra damage is nice, and you have Overload, so you can use, again, Overload bows are really good. Even though bows, I hate using bows, they're very good for Overload. You can use scout rifles, you can use snipers, whatever the weapon is. If you're standing in the Rift, you will have Overload. So I'm excited to see how these play in some of the harder content in the game. I'm not of light yet to really run the Master Nightfall or anything like that, but once I am, I would definitely make a build and use it in some of that hard content and just see how they perform. But if you guys like this content, definitely stay tuned for more. I plan on making a lot more videos, so hit that subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment if you would like, and I will see you guys in the next video. Deuces.